Hi, I'm here with one of the greatest books. I love this book, and I also love this author. The author is Jacqueline Woodson, and it's illustrated by one of my favorite illustrators, E.B. Lewis. Um, wow, this book is amazing. It's again, the title is The Other Side. Before I start reading you the book, I'm going to read to you the author's note um, because she just says it. So, author's note from Jacqueline Woodson. Years ago, when I began to tell the story of Clover and Annie, I had no idea about the life this book would take on. I knew two things. One, that I wanted this to be a story about the way in which young people change the world each day through their seemingly simple acts of resistance. And two, that I'd wanted it to be a lyrical story that brought with the telling hope. I needed that hope. Um, I'm gonna leave it at that. There's a lot here, and I don't want to give the book away. So I begin with the story, The Other Side by Jacqueline Woodson. That summer, the fence that stretched throughout town seemed bigger. We lived in a yellow house on one side of it. White people lived on the other. And Mama said, "Don't climb over that fence when you play." She said it wasn't safe. That summer, there was a girl who wore a pink sweater. Each morning she climbed up on the fence and stared over at our side. Sometimes I stared back. She never sat on that fence with anybody. That girl didn't. Once, when we were jumping rope, she asked if she could play, and my friend Sandra said no without even asking the rest of us. I don't know what I would have said. Maybe yes, maybe no. What's in the middle between the girls? Do you see what that was? That summer, everyone and everything on the other side of that fence seemed far away. When I asked my mama why, she said, "Because that's the way things have always been." Sometimes when me and mama went into town, I saw that girl with her mama. She looked sad sometimes, that girl did. "Don't stare," my mama said. "It's not polite." It rained a lot that summer. On rainy days, that girl sat on the fence in a raincoat. She let herself get all wet and acted like she didn't even care. Sometimes I saw her dancing around in puddles, splashing and laughing. "Mama wouldn't let me go out in the rain. That's why I bought you rainy day toys," my mama said. "You stay inside, here, where it's warm and safe and dry." But every time it rained, I looked for that girl, and I always found her somewhere near the fence. I noticed that her mom really wants her to be safe. It's very important to her mama that she stays safe. Did you notice that she said that word many times? Someplace in the middle of the summer, the rain stopped. When I walked outside, the grass was damp and the sun was already high up in the sky, and I stood there with my hands up in the air. I felt brave that day. I felt free. I got close to the fence, and that girl asked me my name. "Clover," I said. My name's Annie, she said, Annie Paul. I live over yonder, she said, by where you see the laundry. That's my blouse hanging on the line. She smiled then. She had a pretty smile. And then I smiled, and we stood there, looking at each other and smiling. It's nice up on this fence, Annie said. You can see all over. I ran my hand along the fence. I reached up and touched the top of it. A fence like this was made for sitting on, Annie said. She looked at me sideways. Mama said I shouldn't go up on the other side, I said. My mama says the same thing, but she never said nothing about sitting on it. Neither did mine, I said. I want you to see. I see the little girls reaching towards each other. Do you see the two little girls reaching towards one another? That summer, me and Annie sat together on that fence, and when Sandra and them looked at me funny, I just made believe I didn't care. Some mornings my mama watched us. I waited for her to tell me to get down from that fence before I break my neck or something, but she never did. I see you made a new friend, she said one morning, and I nodded and Mama smiled. That summer, me and Annie sat on that fence and watched the whole wide world around us. Do you see the two girls on the fence? One day, Sandra and them were jumping rope near the fence, and we asked if we could play. I don't care, Sandra said. And when we jumped, Sandra and me were partners, the way we used to be. Where's the fence now? Is the fence in between them? They're all on the same side of the fence. They're all together. When we were too tired to jump anymore, we sat up on the fence, all of us in a long line. Someday, somebody's going to come along and knock this old fence down, Annie said. And I nodded, yeah, someday. And that was the story, The Other Side by Jacqueline Woodson. I hope it becomes a favorite of yours like it's a favorite of mine. And I hope you enjoyed The Other Side.